We're back. The best of food and wine with Anthony Gismondi and Kasey Wilson, live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. Now, here's Tony and Kasey.
Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight.
Well, welcome back to the Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
Really happy to have an old friend back in the studio. Randy Picton is the head winemaker at Nk'Mip Vineyards, way down south in Osoyoos. Welcome back, Randy.
Thank you.
Great to have you around. You got a big spread in the Vancouver Sun last weekend.
Yeah, it was quite nice. I've heard
telling the long story of your winery.
Yeah, I've heard about it from a few people, and so I picked up a copy of the article today, so it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've been winning awards.
We've been doing rather well.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
This guy's one of the coolest dudes in the valley. You can't really get him excited about anything too much. He's got it all under control.
Very under control.
Yeah.
Low, slow, and under control.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
Something like that.
It's a good way to survive.
Yes, it is.
So let's just transport our listeners and viewers today to Nk'Mip.
Yeah, Nk'Mip is a really special spot. I mean, we're down right down on the east, on a bench above the east side of the Osoyoos Lake. And, if you're there visiting, we've got a gorgeous wine shop. If you're sitting out on the patio overlooking the lake and the town of Osoyoos, and we've got some of the native music piped out onto the patio, and you're having a nice lunch there in the summer, is a very sublime spot. Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's almost unreal when you're sitting there between the view and the food and the quality of the wine. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's hard to imagine.
I work there every day, and I pay special attention to try to remind myself about the beauty that surrounds us. But, from a
how many
tourist
vintages for you now?
Well, I started in 2002, so I've been there 15 years now. So
yeah, that's a good run.
It is a good run. Yeah, It's been a great place to work. We've got good fruit. We've got good people in management, and it's been a good success story.
And the wines that you're making today, are they similar to what you were doing then, or have you really changed stuff? Or
I think things have evolved a little bit through the years. We've gotten to know the vineyard blocks a little bit better over the years, and we changed things up a little bit. I think the wines are a little more refined than they were in the early days, and the results in the competitions and stuff have been proving that.
People pretty envious of your sites, from the beginning when people were looking for warm sites in the Okanagan where they could ripen Cabernet Sauvignon, for instance. We're always looking at Osoyoos, but lots of things have changed down there. Is it because we know more about the soil, or maybe where all the sites face?
Well, I think that's still in development, really, as far as the Okanagan goes, and making sure that we have the right fruit, the right clones on the right rootstocks growing in the right sort of microclimate. And I think that's evolving. And to me, that's one of the things that there's still room for growth in the Okanagan and into elevating the quality of the wines. I think the wines obviously have improved vastly over the last couple decades that I've been in this industry, but there is room for improvement, and we're working on it.
You're a bit of a superstar with Pinot, and you brought one along today, which is, I see the vintage here, it's 2015.
Yes.
This color is spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty deep color for Pinot Noir. We generally get really good color on our Pinots.
It is so gorgeous. I want to dress with this color. It's beautiful.
Pinot's really progressed in British Columbia in the last 5 years from what I'm seeing all over the valley. You must be happy with that.
It is. It's nice to get known for something that I think the valley should be known for. Pinot Noir is a grape that suits well for the variety. We're growing it sort of probably about as far south as you want to go. We've got our sources sort of just south of McIntyre Bluff at the Nk'Mip Vineyards there, and it's a wine that year in and year out, we've been able to kind of somehow finesse a pretty good wine out of, even though we're that far south.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a little more like a Russian River Pinot. It has the lovely lushness and mid-palate, richness that you get in that style.
It's the texture that really drives this wine right now. In particular, this wine's a little bit of a baby right now. Just kind of, I think the aromatics are going to evolve over the next 2 or 3 years, but the structure on the wine is quite nice right now.
They call it the Heartbreak Grape. Is it really the Heartbreak Grape? Is it?
If it was me, I would say Chardonnay would be the Heartbreak Grape.
Really?
Grape, yeah.
Because?
Chardonnay is just troublesome wine for
Fussy.
me. I don't.
Yeah?
It's fussy, yeah. Just getting, trying to get the aromatics and the structure that you're looking for in the wine. I find more difficulty in trying to put together a Chardonnay than Pinot.
I've been talking to a lot of younger winemakers about confidence. The kind of confidence I see, the kind of confidence you've had for a while now. But it's kind of nice when you get to a point, I think, where it flips over and you're no longer worried about the growing and the making, but actually thinking about what you want to do, I think, or thinking less. I don't know.
No, it's thinking more, really. I mean, my assistant winemaker, Justin Hall, and I have been talking a lot over the last couple of weeks, and we've been doing a lot of tasting, not only here but the show, but we were recently down in Napa and at the Unified Symposium and made a trip over to Napa and tasted some wines there, and really starting to think that, we really need to treat each and every individual lot of grapes that we bring into the winery. We've got to treat them separately. So it's not the same necessarily as last year. Even though it may be from the same block, conditions are different during the growing season, and we need to evaluate when the grapes hit or in the vineyards prior to that, but when the grapes hit the crush bed, that we know exactly what we're going to do with them.
And wouldn't it be nice to have a spot for every individual block that would just make that a lot easier?
That would be a beauty.
Yeah.
But as it is, there are some logistics that we have to fight through, given the size of the facility.
So the 15 Pinot, can you tell us a little bit about, is it a mix of clones or is it a clone?
No, it's primarily 115 clone, all growing off of Nk'Mip vineyards in Oliver area. We've got probably about 5 different blocks, though, that we source from that different vineyard. Mm-hmm. Even though they're all the same clone, very different results in each of the blocks, so it does give us some blending opportunities in that regard.
To put it together.
Yeah, in 2016, for the first time, we did get a block given to us of 667 and 777 clones, so we're going to have a little different option to work with of the 2016 vintage.
It's really nice to me. I don't know, is there less oak in this wine or just different oak? Or?
It's a little bit less, and we're kind of toning the oak down a little bit. And as I said, along the years, we've kind of tweaked things a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that we've tweaked considerably, not only in the Pinot Noir, but all of our blends have been a little less oak, trending that direction.
Fruits popping out.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited you brought an ice wine. We don't see them much anymore, although I know they're still made.
Yeah.
And I think you just had a great ice wine season. Like any ice wine season before Christmas, I think is
nice.
Much welcome.
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't quite before Christmas. This is actually our New Year's baby.
Okay.
So I was literally heading out the door for my New Year's Eve dinner.
Oh, boy.
And,
how does that go over?
Well, it didn't. The wife had company, but it wasn't me. So, instead of heading north towards town and having dinner, I headed south towards the vineyards.
Oh, my God.
And we were fortunate, really, in that the fact that we actually got a crew out there. I was quite surprised. I mean, not only being New Year's Eve, but the night previously we had a crew out because the temperatures were getting down to where we thought we'd be harvesting. We had the entire crew out there, and about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the cloud cover came in, and kind of the temperatures started to moderate. And, so we had to send everybody home that night. And then I thought, well, New Year's Eve, I'll be lucky if I see anybody showing up. But give them credit, they showed up, and we got it all harvested by about 6 o'clock New Year's Day. So
really, that's amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah.
This wine is sensational. Congratulations. I just love Riesling ice wine. I don't know. The rest are interesting, but Riesling for me it's the real thing.
Yeah, we've been trending towards slightly lower Brix levels too, if we can attain them, sort of, to try to balance that acidity. So the wines aren't too cloying. We used to pick it around 42 Brix, and then we dropped it down to around 40 and a half. And right now, I'm happy to pick them at 39 to 40 sort of thing.
Wow, this wine has beautiful freshness.
Yeah.
Are you importing a lot of ice wine?
Are we
exporting?
Exporting, I mean, to Asia?
Oh, geez, asking me a sales question. Asking a winemaker a sales question.
He's too busy. He's too busy picking ice wine on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. No, honestly, Casey, I don't think we're doing it in a big way. I think most of it's still sold locally.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Just quickly for ice wine, can you explain the concept of ice wine, maybe to our listeners, like it gets frozen. What is that? How does that make it or help it, or what happens?
Well, what happens is when the grapes are frozen, and when we go out to the vineyards, and once we've achieved temperatures,
which is -8, I think.
Minimum -8, but more practically speaking, probably -10 for a number of hours.
Yep.
The grapes become quite firm, almost not quite as hard as marbles, but very, very firm. So you can almost tell where your Brix levels are going to be, where your initial sugar levels are going to be, just by squeezing the grapes and getting a good idea that way. So when the grapes are very, very firm, we bring them into the winery directly, and then we put them into the press. And so when we fire up the press and squeeze the grapes, all the water basically stays in.
Because it's ice.
It turns to ice. Exactly.
Okay.
So then what you get dripping out of the press into the press pan is a very concentrated sweet nectar, high acid, high sugar, high flavors, aromas, and really, really nice.
Delicious.
Must taste so good when you do that.
It does taste really good. Yeah, even as
And
juice. Yeah.
do you make just a Riesling ice wine, or do you make a few different wines?
Oh, yeah.
No, we do, Casey. With just the Riesling ice wine. It's all gone into the one bottle.
Okay, I should get the price out too, because it'll kill me if I don't. So the Nk'Mip Pinot Noir, roughly
$30 retail.
Yeah, and that's a full bottle, of course. And ice wine usually always in 375 or 200 ml. I think this is 375, isn't it?
375, and boy, price.
About $65, $70 or more?
In that range.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, sorry.
But delicious. And ice wine actually ages fairly well.
Well, not only is it aged, but a lot of people don't know what ice wine is. A lot of regular table wines, you need to drink them sort of within a day or two, or they're going to spoil. With ice wine, if it's a well-made ice wine, you can, have a sip or aperitif or something like that before dinner or after dinner. Stick the cork back in, put it back in your fridge, and it'll last for quite a while.
Yeah.
The sugar is a strong antioxidant. So
really? I didn't know that.
I've had ice wines that I've left in the lab fridge in the winery itself that up to 18 months and even 2 years with a partial bottle, and they're still very, very fresh.
That is amazing.
A lot of people love to have it with dessert, but with foie gras, it can be spectacular too.
Yeah, I think there's better options than a sweet dessert, that's for sure.
Yes.
Randy, great to catch up with you. Our best to Justin. We haven't seen him in a while. Your sidekick, who's been studying under you for quite a while now. Yeah, is he still keeping well? Or?
Oh, he's keeping well. It's getting to the point now where he's pretty much ready to step into my role. So I made a couple of jokes to a couple of people this weekend, but when I walk by staircases now, I kind of look over my shoulder to make sure I don't get a little nudge down the stairs, so he can take over as the winemaker. But it is exciting that in the near future we're going to have a native winery, a native winemaker sort of.
It is. That's very exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Randy, thanks so much for joining us today. We hope to see you up in the valley soon. And, of course, invite all our listeners to drop by Nk'Mip Cellars for really a surreal experience in the restaurant, in the tasting room, and pick up some wine.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Randy Picton, he's the head winemaker at Nk'Mip Cellars. You're listening to the best of food and wine on CISL 650. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
And we're live from the floor of the Vancouver International Wine Festival, and we'll be back after these messages.